Hey guys, Horrorman back for another review. So today we're going to go ahead and take a look at the brand new Batman the Animated Series Clayface figure. Now this figure is from DC Collectibles and it's part of that new animated series and new Batman Adventures line that's currently going. Now this is in a 6-inch scale, but the figure you can see is much bigger than your standard 6-inch character. So you can see the little animated series logo on the left, DC, and all these warnings on the front. You can see Clayface's name here. Not much on the side, but for air holes, that you do have the Batman Animated Series logo here. And then you can see it's like a flip-flop of a color on the back. And then on the top you get the Batman Animated Series. Alright, so pretty cool figure. You can see he's got a really nice display going on. You can see pretty much everything he comes with. You kind of see the stand hidden back in there. So let's go ahead and take this out of the box and get a closer look. Alright, so here he is out of the box. Let's go ahead and get a nice close-up of the head sculpt. Alright, so here's what the head sculpt looks like, and I think it's really good. It definitely reminds me of the cartoon. He's got that kind of snarl look to him, and I really like it. His eyes and teeth are pretty bright. You can see his teeth look pretty rough, and then he's got these kind of like glowing green eyes, but very cool and very authentic to the TV show. Now his head is kind of got this like rubbery feel to it. You can see I can kind of like move his mouth a little bit, and I really like that. It kind of like goes with the whole clay theme. It actually kind of feels like clay, which I think was a really good decision on DC Collectibles. And then you can see the head. You can see like the little separation. You can kind of flatten it out a little bit, but you can see like the kind of separation between the shoulders and the head. And he's got a really good profile too. But all in all, I really like this head sculpt. He's got this like lumpy chin, but very cool. Now, he does come with two different head sculpts, so let's go ahead and put that other one on now. You're just gonna grab this pretty firm, and it's that rubber material, so it pops off fairly easy. And then the other head just has the same, you know, peg hole on the bottom, and then it should just push right in pretty easily. You do have to put a little bit of pressure on it to get it snap in because it is that rubbery type, but once you get it on there, it stays on pretty good. Alright, so here is the alternate head, and this thing is crazy. I love it. You can see he's got those gangly teeth again. I like how you can see the inside of the mouth, even though you don't really see a tongue or anything, but he's very angry here. So I don't know, I think I might like this head sculpt a little bit better, but they're both pretty good. This one almost looks like it'd be cool just kind of as a puddle, like kind of just sitting on the ground or something. But yeah, I really do like this. And again, you know, you get a decent amount of articulation. It's that same rubbery type, so you can kind of make him talk. But I really like that they did that rubber material, and you'd see like a little extra lump in the back. But yeah, the head sculpt is very good on this. Definitely reminds me of the show. So Clayface is mainly all body. I mean, the bulk of this figure is going to be the torso, and I really like how they did it. It's kind of like, you could see where he would have like his chest and everything, like upper chest and things, but you could see how the clay is kind of running down his body, which is very, like, exactly what he looked like in the show. You can see his arms also have that same type of effect where it's got that lumpy clay and it's kind of like dripping down. So I really like the attention to detail, and I like that they didn't just sculpt just a smooth brown character, which would have been very lame. But I like all these, like, you know, kind of bubbling effects. And even the back, you can see that line in his back. So it has some kind of like muscular tone to him, but you can still see it through the clay, which I really like. But very big figure, and I just really like that they've captured him pretty well to the cartoon. Now the bottom half of this figure, on the other hand, is pretty lame. I mean, his legs are really short, his feet are pretty small, but that's kind of common amongst all those characters in this line. But he does stand amazingly. You might have to just kind of mess with him a little bit, but he does stand. He's got the clay butt. But yeah, it's definitely very, very accurate to the character. Even though he looks like he has really little legs, this is about right. Okay, so the articulation is fair on this figure. He does move, but not very much. Again, you know, you do have that full rotation on the head sculpt. You know, it's got that rubbery mouth. You can't really go out too far with the arms. That's about it. You can go up and all the way around. And then he does have a little bit of a joint here. It just doesn't really, he doesn't bend that far with the arm, but he does have a joint there. You can swivel all the way around. It does stop a little bit with the little clay cluster there. There's nothing at the wrist. He does have an ab crunch, and then he can go pretty far. He could probably go all the way around with the waist. His legs only go about that far out. He can go about that far out here, like a split. And then there is a twist at the ankle. There really isn't any up and down movement there. So it's fairly decent range of articulation, but nothing, you know, to brag about. Now, one of the coolest things, if not the coolest thing about this figure, is these interchangeable parts that he comes with. The first one you get is like this clay, I guess you could say this is like a whip or like a hook shape. And this is really cool. You can just clip this on instead of the regular arm, and you can maybe, you know, pull in one of his victims or however you want to do. You also get this really cool axe arm, and you can see all like little lumps in here. Then the last one you get for the interchangeable arm is this really cool like mace, like a spiked ball. And I love that it actually has a real chain on here, and it's even done in that clay brown that they use for the whole body. And it's actually got a little bit of weight to it. I really like this particular piece. And of course you do get the interchangeable head as well. So the accessories are pretty good for this figure. Now with these accessories, it does look like you can kind of put them on either arm. It really just depends on how you want to customize your figure. So to do that, you just go ahead and pull the arm off, and you can see it's got a really big peg on here. And then you could just take one of the arms and then just attach that on. It's a little bit of pressure to get that on there. And then there you have the whip arm. And here he is with the other two arms. You can see the spiked ball and the axe. And again, I mean, you could put them on any arm you want. There's full articulation just like there was with the regular arms. And just really cool. I love the little spiked ball arm. I think that might be my favorite. But they fit on there really nice and snug, and didn't have any breakage issues or anything like that. So you can really customize this figure any way you want. Now you do also get this little pamphlet in here that basically shows how to work the interchangeable head system and how to use the interchangeable arms. And then you also see that you can assemble the stand if you choose to display him with it. Now if you do put him on the stand, I gotta warn you, these stands are not the best. And honestly, he's not even really using the way it's supposed to be used. I just have him standing on the platform. But yeah, it just doesn't, they never really hook up that good with these figures, and I absolutely hate these pieces in the back. The one thing I do like about these stands is the little different pictures that are on here. It's got this like turnaround. What I would honestly recommend more is I've used them with pretty much all my figures that I want stands for. I just use these NECA stands, and they work, you know, 10 times better. You don't have to worry about that piece, you know, behind him. It just sits pretty good on here. And then there's also one more pamphlet that has an updated look at some different characters. You can see the Batmobile, Batman Phantasm, and some of the other characters that have come out more recently, including Clayface. And you can see these cool little pictures on the back from both series. Okay, so for the first comparison, here he is next to some of the smaller figures in the animated series line and New Adventures. You can see Harley Quinn and Nightwing, and they're really well in scale to Clayface. You can see he's much bigger. And here he is next to Batman from Batman the Animated Series. And again, they stack up very well next to each other. You can see Clayface is still a good chunk bigger. And here he is next to Bane. You can see Bane is definitely one of the biggest characters in the line. Now this is from the New Adventures. He's actually one of the biggest, so Clayface could be the biggest figure in this line. I don't have Killer Croc to compare him to, but it's going to be pretty close between them. And here he is next to the Mafex Dark Knight Rises Batman, and this is in a 6-inch scale also. And here he is next to the 1989 Batman made by NECA Toys. Now that's in a 7-inch scale, but it doesn't look that bad next to each other. He's just not quite as big as he should be. And if you want to really make Clayface look big, you can display him next to this original 1989 Toy Biz Batman. Alright, so that's my review. All in all, I'm pretty happy with this figure. You know, we don't see a lot of Clayface stuff, especially any kind of merchandise, so having a figure of the original from the animated series is awesome. And I think they've done a really good job with this. The articulation could have been better, but I mean, he's a lump of clay, so it's really, it's tough to really kind of add the articulation without it looking kind of ridiculous. Now originally there was a Four Horsemen figure that was amazing looking, and I was really sad that we didn't get those so many years ago. But, you know, at least we got something, and I think, again, they've done a really good job with this figure. He fits great within the line, and I think the best thing about this, aside from the accessories, is they went with this rubbery material for at least the, you know, the face. And I think it's really cool that you can, I mean, you can almost just display just the head sitting down, and it'll kind of look like he's just kind of like a puddle, which is what he's looked like before in the cartoon. So if you've been collecting the line, I would definitely recommend it. You can find this at any comic shop. It just came out, and you should find it for around $40 or $50, depending on the place that's actually selling it. It is considered a deluxe figure, so it should be in the $40 range. Please leave a comment, question, and subscribe. And until next time, guys, see ya.